Good morning, church family. We're going to continue on in the concluding portion of Luke chapter 5, starting in verse 33. It reads, "They said to him, 'John's disciples often fast and pray, and so do the disciples of the Pharisees. But yours go on eating and drinking.' And Jesus answered, 'Can you make the friends of the bridegroom fast while he is with them? But the time will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them. In those days they will fast.' He told them this parable. 'No one tears a piece out of a new garment to patch on an old one. Otherwise, they will have torn the new garment, and the patch from the new will not match the old. And no one pours new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the new wine will burst the skins. The wine will run out, and the wineskins will be ruined. No, new wine must be poured into new wineskins. And no one, after drinking old wine, wants the new. For they say the old is better.'" There's a continual theme throughout the Gospels of trying to lock Jesus into something where they can cause faults, or they can point blame against him that he is in violation of the law. But continually, Jesus responds to them, pointing to the intent of the law as opposed to the wording of the law. You see, in our culture, and even in the Jewish culture of the day, that legalistic view of the law, making sure we hold it to the letter, oftentimes overshadowed the intent and the purpose. And that's exactly what Jesus is speaking about as he speaks here about his disciples fasting. You see, fasting is far more than just the deprivation of the partaking of some food elements, taking of meat. Fasting was designed to be a mark of dependence. It's an opportunity to intentionally draw near to God. Jesus responds to the naysayers by saying, hey, when you recognize who it is that you're seeking and that they are present, you don't fast in order to draw nearer to their presence. You enjoy the fullness of their presence. What Jesus is telling them is that he is God. And so why would you fast and not partake of the food around you in order that in your fasting, you might draw nearer to the Lord, you might proclaim your dependence and thus lean into God and to the things that you need when God is right there in front of you. You see, Jesus was right there in front of his disciples. He was reminding them through his teaching, through his time with them. He was showing them over and over again that he was God. As they gathered around the table and they broke bread, their eyes were open and their hearts were softened to the things of God. The disciples truly were living out a fasting lifestyle in the fact that they were sacrificed everything in order to be with Christ. Remember the last passage that we looked at a couple days ago, that when Simon and James and John, when they experienced Jesus' miracle of the fish and they recognized who he was, it says they brought their boats ashore and they left everything and they followed him. You see, they had gone and they allowed their dependence to be on Christ. I wonder for us today, who are we dependent upon? Are we reminding our hearts intentionally that we're dependent upon God for all that we have? I think in our lives, the reality is we are the dwelling place of the Most High. And while I think it is important in our lives at times to fast in order to remove some obstacles that may stand in our way of being reminded of who God is in our life, the truth is that we have Christ with us. We are indwelt with the Holy Spirit. I think the thing that keeps us from drawing near to God is oftentimes the noise around us. So I want to encourage you, if the noise is distracting you from God, maybe it's time to fast. Fast from social media, fast from TV, fast from your computer, maybe even fast from work. I can tell you right now, if you want rest, don't take a vacation to some far-off Caribbean island. Instead, take a vacation and draw near to God. Remove the outside influences and just sit with the Lord. Commune with him. Share a meal with him. Maybe God's leading you to do something like that. to fast so you might draw near to him. Would you share with us where God is leading you, and we might encourage one another? I look forward to beginning Luke chapter 6 with you starting tomorrow.